There are so many witnesses. There are so many victims.
Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at.
Is there anything that you may want to confess tonight before you go in?
You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy camp?
Hell no.
You try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners.
I keep everything right here. Or right here. There you go.
Let's just go get some girls.
Man after my heart. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
My number.
Yeah.
Is this a sociopath or is this somebody that
Savage! I'm a savage! Oh!
can be redeemed? And I'm not talking about in business or to the world. I think it's a wrap for that.
I'm a savage! Whatever I want, I'm going to get! Whatever I want, I have to get!
I mean, like, his soul.
I never liked it. I met him a bunch of times, but I never liked it.
Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no.
About my parties, they're gonna be shutting them down. They're gonna probably be arresting me.
When they come to one of my parties, this is what happens to them. I put them to sleep.
Come in the after party. You need locks on the doors?
No, I know about them.
A lot of heat. Physically, the place has to be hot.
You don't have no air conditioning.
No air conditioning.
No.
Why is that?
Heat affects the alcohol, and it also affects, everybody gets a little bit more comfortable and loose. Builds up a nice little sweat.
How do I address you?
You can call me Love.
Imagine you wake up, and the very foundation you build your belief system upon crumbles beneath your feet. For decades, Sean John Combs, better known as P. Diddy, was an untouchable so-called king among mortals. He embodied hustle, success, and the culture power. He wasn't just a man, but a symbol. The Bad Boy record empire, his billion-dollar deals with Diego and Revolt TV, his Lifetime Achievement Awards. This was the foundation of his legacy that seems to be impenetrable. But here's the thing about legacies. They're fragile. And all it takes is one crack, one accusation, then suddenly the whole structure collapses like a house of cards. See, for years we believed in the myth of P. Diddy. We wanted to believe in the fairy tale of his rise from nothing to everything, with the narrative of grit, hustle, and endless success. But now we are confronted with a darker truth. The allegations that have surfaced, the stories of abuse and SA assaults of men, women, and children. With these egregious allegations, we're forced to ask ourselves, what happens when the hero of the story is revealed to be the villain the whole time? Sean John Combs continuously tried to reinvent himself by changing his name to Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Diddy, and Love, which he legally made his middle name in 2021. He earned the name Puffy in high school because he used to puff out his chest to make his body seem bigger. Combs majored in business administration at Howard University, producing weekly parties and running an airport shuttle service while attending classes. He dropped out to pursue an internship at Uptown Records, which would lead to a talent director's position. He produced some famous artists and rose to vice president. And with his ambitions to take over Uptown Records, he was fired.
He was let go. He was always on payroll. I never stopped paying him until he found his next spot. His artists were always still getting per diem, because I didn't do it to hurt him, but I knew it was time for him to grow.
Combs started his own record label called Bad Boy Records. Bad Boy Records wasn't just a record company, it was a rebellious revolution tailored towards the destruction of the indigenous black youth in America.
I named it Bad Boy because I wanted to go against the grain. Anytime you go against the grain, they consider you like kind of bad. Nothing negative, nothing like hardcore. Just I didn't want to be regular. I didn't want to just make records. I didn't want to just make money. I wanted to make history.
With Biggie Smalls by his side, he did just that. The hits came like an unstoppable wave. Juicy, Big Papa, more money, more problems. But this particular album title, Notorious B.I.G., Life After Death, the song was called What's Beef? One must ask themselves, what type of person writes such egregious and nefarious lyrics in a song to be distributed to the public? You can listen and verify these lyrics uncensored here on YouTube.
Still in my bed. I hope they know my nigga got the fucking kidnapped kids. Fuck them in their ass, throw them over the bridge.
It all goes back to one point. So I have a dream. A lot of times people see your dreams as they crazy. You going for your passion you have for your dreams may make you act crazy. You trying to reach your goals for your dreams. You're driven, you know. The dreams you have are so visionary, they may call you a genius. But it's just, I'm a dreamer. I love closing my eyes and dreaming. I don't really deal with reality when I deal with trying to work towards the future.
Combs wasn't just making music. He was creating a carcinogen culture for the minds of indigenous black youth. By this time, Sean Combs thought he was untouchable with his narcissistic behavior, unable to see the cracks forming underneath his feet. As Combs expanded his empire in fashion, liquor, and TV, he evolved from a Mongol into a monarch. He wasn't just successful, he was royalty. He just didn't rule Bad Boy Records, he ruled the culture. Every room he walked into, every deal he made reinforced the idea that he was indestructible, that his empire would stand forever. But his arrogance begat his ignorance to see the power he once wielded so confidently begins to morph into something more darker, more insidious. This is where the empire he built begins to crumble underneath his feet. While the world saw P. Diddy's rise to power, very few was prepared for the fall that was waiting just around the corner. P. Diddy assumed that his allegiance in the Boule secret society would shield him from any legal actions taken against him for his iniquities. For every champagne bottle popped, there was a whispered rumor. For every deal signed, there was a whispered rumor of what happens at Diddy parties away from the public cameras. Sean P. Diddy Combs' legal problems began over 33 years ago. In 1991, according to a November 2023 lawsuit, Combs and R&B singer Ann Hall allegedly assaulted an unnamed victim and a friend after an industry event, then beaten her several days later after confronted about his actions. Combs had another case filed November 2023 where again in 1991, Combs allegedly SA assaulted and video recorded Joy Dickerson Neal. She has come forth as being the second victim to accuse the music icon Sean P. Diddy Combs of drugging SA assaulting her in 1991. On November 23, 2023, she filed a lawsuit in Manhattan Supreme Court just before the New York's Adult Survivor Act deadline. Along with the allegations of SA assault, she accuses Sean P. Diddy Combs of revenge porn, claiming he shared footage of her with others in the music industry. Neal states that the circulation of this video has severely impacted her health, reputation, and career opportunities. Her lawsuit follows a similar legal action by Cassie Ventura, who also filed a lawsuit against Combs on November 16, 2023. Joy Dickerson Neal was born in 1970 in New York. She was raised by a mother after her father passed away when she was just 6 months old. She accredits her mother for instilling strong moral values. In 1997, she enrolled in Syracuse University, majoring in psychology. To support her studies, she worked as a servant at Wells Restaurant in Harlem, then later a receptionist at a talent agency called Apple One. She also worked as an assistant for Funkmaster Flex Company and a location scout for cameraman Gary Brewer. She collaborated on videos like A Tribe Called Quest and more. Joy Dickerson Neal lawsuit outlines a harrowing story of SA assault humiliation, emotional trauma, allegedly at the hands of Sean P. Diddy Combs. At the time, they were part of the same social circles, and they worked together in a rap video by Finesse and Sequoise called Straight from the Soul in 1990. She was the woman in the car with Diddy. During this time, Sean P. Diddy Combs continuously asked Neil to have dinner with him. Although she initially resisted his advancements due to his misogynistic behavior, she eventually agreed to have dinner with him on November 3rd, 1991. Joy Dickerson Neal alleged that Sean P. Diddy Combs drugged her drink while she was in the restroom at Wells Restaurant in Harlem. She then claims he took her to a recording studio and then later his home, where he SA assaulted her, causing severe pelvic pain. Traumatized by this experience, she chose not to seek medical attention, but to report it to the police. A common response for many SA assault victims. Study shows that 63% of SA assault victims never file a report. According to her lawsuit, she withdrew into isolation at her home, only confiding in her best friend only when she felt safe to do so. Joy Dickerson Neal has the same parallels to the allegations made by Casey Ventura against Sean P. Diddy Combs, suggesting a potential pattern of gender-based violence. According to Neal, shortly after the allegations of the SA assault, she discovered that Diddy secretly recorded the incident without her consent. She claims that a mutual friend, Devontae Swing, that Diddy had shown him the tape and told her everyone had saw the tape. Devontae wanted to confront Diddy, but his fear of Jodeci losing the record deal, which Diddy was the A&R at the time, kept him silent, reflecting upon the bystander betrayal that often enables SA violence. The multiple traumas Neal describes, including the SA assaults, the humiliation of the recording, and the psychological toll, led to severe emotional distress. She struggled with flashbacks, insomnia, and depression, ultimately dropping out of school and seeking mental health care for clinical depression and suicidal thoughts. During her recovery, Neal claimed she filed the police reports in both New York and New Jersey and tried to retrieve the revenge porn footage. However, those who had seen the tape were allegedly too afraid to defy Diddy and refused to come forward. Her lawsuit also allegedly claims that at a work event, Diddy cornered her, knelt down, and insisted on his innocence. Neal claims her employer witnessed the incident and asked her about it. At that time, Sean P. Diddy Combs was well connected to the outer circles of an elite secret society. They had an agenda to covertly program the minds of indigenous black youth towards a degenerate behavior and criminal activity. They created new prisons for profit and needed shows like Sean P. Diddy Combs to influence indigenous black people into a criminal culture lifestyle. The 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution abolished slavery in the United States and prohibited involuntary servitude with the exception of a punishment for a crime. This would reintroduce indigenous black children back into slavery unbeknownst to them. So you see, at the time, Sean P. Diddy Combs was an asset to the elite rulers. And from the ignorance of indigenous black people, the record label, the distribution, the clothing line, the liquor store brands, the radio, the TV, the city courts, the state courts, and the prison system would make millions off indigenous black people.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was selling drugs real hard, you know? And when I got the record deal, all that got cut short. So it's like he Jesus to me, you know what I'm saying? Because he just saved me. And it's real, and I go all out.
Nah, I ain't saying none of that. I'm not Jesus.
To
Jesus.
Me, I look at him like, I say Jesus.
And the next question is, watch out for the thunder out this month.
He saved me. Love you.
Sean P. Diddy Combs enjoyed the fruits of his labor, and side by side with Biggie Smalls, he also collaborated with other rappers and R&B singers like Mariah Carey, New Edition, Method Man, Babyface, TLC, Boyz II Men, Lil' Kim, SWV, Aretha Franklin, Mary J. Blige, and In 1996, he was named ASCAP Songwriter of the Year. In 1997, Bad Boy Entertainment achieved nearly $100 million in sales and secured a multi-million-dollar management deal with Arista Records. Now, everything appeared to be good on the surface with Sean P. Diddy Combs' rise to the top. However, when we take a look underneath the flashing lights of his success, we see a more nefarious side to P. Diddy's success. With more money, he partied harder and harder. And the harder he partied, the more his demons came out. Between 1995 and 1996, just 2 to 3 years after the formation of Bad Boy Records, 2 new allegations came out committed by Combs. According to May 2024 lawsuit, Combs allegedly SA assaulted April Lampros on several occasions while in a relationship with Jennifer Lopez. Lampros stated she met Combs in 1994 while she was a student at the Fashion Institute of Technology in New York City. She stated that Sean P. Diddy Combs offered to mentor her, promising to connect her with the industry executives in music, fashion, and assist her in finding job opportunities after she expressed her aspirations in the field of fashion. Lampro alleges that she experienced 4 frightening SA assaults by Sean P. Diddy Combs over the years, starting in 1995. The former FIT student claims that Combs displayed a violent temper, often threatening her with harm if she didn't comply to his demands, if he saw her speaking to other men, or if she missed his call. She also stated that the Bad Boy Entertainment founder wanted to keep their relationship a secret due to her being a white woman. During an event in 1995, the court documents state that Combs forced himself on top of her and forcefully kissed her. Lampros claims that she attempted to turn her head to avoid Combs' advances, but he grabbed her face and continued to take off her clothes and assault her. Lampros alleges that 3 other assaults happened in 1995, 1997, and towards the end of 2000. She claims that Combs forced her to perform an SA act on him in a public parking garage, then forced Kim Porter to have an SA with her before being violently SA assaulted by Combs. The last incident happened when Combs was in a relationship with Jennifer Lopez, which was mentioned in the court affidavit. Lampros also claimed that Combs recorded an SA assault and attempted to distribute the recording. The document states that Lampros was attending an event and a gentleman informed the man Miss Lampros was dating that he should reconsider dating her because he personally saw the video of her and Sean Combs' assault. Lampros claimed she wasn't aware that she was being recorded. 1 year later, in 1996, Combs was found guilty of criminal mischief for threatening a photographer from the New York Post with a gun, but wasn't given any charges for the gun incident. Sean P. Diddy Combs, surrounded by fame and fortune. P. Diddy was untouchable, or so he thought. His success wrapped him in a cocoon of power, and the warnings from those who tried to reach out was dismissed. They said he was out of control, but the heights of his success and the darkness of his childhood fueled his ego. The demons of his past grew stronger, merging into his adult life and leaving a trail of chaos. Just 1 year after Combs was found guilty of criminal mischief for threatening a photographer with a gun, tragedy struck. In 1997, by a drive-by shooting that took the life of Christopher Wallace, better known as Biggie Smalls, the notorious B.I.G., at the age of 24. The murder shook the world and left a gaping wound in the hip-hop community. Many believe it was connected to the storm surrounding P. Diddy. Los Angeles became the scene of a tragedy and the mark of the end of an era, but the beginning of a new chapter in Combs' life. One that will be marked by controversy and indulgence. In 1998, Combs' lavish lifestyle reached new heights as he began hosting his infamous Hampton all-white parties These gatherings became the events of legends, attracting the who's who of the music industry, actors, real estate mongrels, and sport team owners. This was the symbol of Diddy's newfound status, his place above everyone else, where the rules of the ordinary life no longer apply. But these parties, known for their secrecy and indulgence, would later come back to haunt him, becoming the focus of a federal indictment on September 16, 2024, for better known as freak-offs. Sean P. Diddy Combs believed he was untouchable, and he could walk over anyone that got in his way. He really believed in the false image that he created for the public. In 1999, he faced 2 arrests that would challenge his carefully created persona. In April, he was charged with 2 felonies for beating record executive Steve Stout in a brutal confrontation involving a fist, a champagne bottle, a telephone, and a chair. An apology and a reported payment of $500,000 helped the charges disappear, with Combs only agreeing to 1 single day of anger management. In December, Combs and his newly signed rapper Shine and girlfriend Jennifer Lopez was involved in a nightclub shooting.
They were drawing from their hip, and I turned to tell my friend, like, "Ooh, girl, watch out. Oh my God." Because there was really nowhere for me to go. Where I was standing, there was a wrought iron metal rail to my back. There was nowhere for me to go. And so as they were going back, they were backing back, like literally walking backwards towards the door, drawing from their hip. I told my friend, I said, "Oh my God, watch out." As I turned back to look at them, I watched them bow, bow. Both of them fired, and the muzzle flash was like, psh, psh. Shine's muzzle flash was a little higher. He was on the side closest to the bar. Puffy's muzzle flash was a little lower, and he was on the side closest to where I was, straight ahead from me. I watched them both fire their guns. I watched them. I got hit right here, in my nose, in between my eyes, which means I'm facing directly.
Combs was acquitted on the weapon charge, and the incident solidified his reputation to living beyond the bounds of the law. We must ask ourselves, who is enabling Sean P. Diddy Combs to continuously break numerous legal and moral laws without any accountability for over 33 years? You see, the story doesn't end with Sean P. Diddy Combs. It's just the beginning to a bigger story involving many people who allegedly assisted Sean P. Diddy Combs with the victimization of numerous men, women, and children. So I'm going to leave you in the manner in which I came, with a universal prayer. In the name of the universal creator of heaven and earth and everything in between, please continue to bless my listeners, their family, their friends, and the true believers for when the day of reckoning takes place. For universal creator, you are all wise and all knowing, and unto you we all shall return. But until then, we give you the praise and glory that's due to you from this life into the hereafter. In the name of the universal creator of heaven and earth and everything in between, in your name we pray that this shall be done. Also, family, get yourself a copy of the Black Universal Creators 100 Laws, Morals, and Precepts. The paperback's available on Amazon, ebooks on Kindle. And for my subscribers and my supporters, you can go to theblackawaken.com and get your discount on ebooks. Again, like and share, reach one, teach one, peace, and take care.